Microsoft has made another savvy move to get approval for their $75 billion Activision Blizzard acquisition. They promised their video game app store would operate with open market principles. Traveled to Washington this week to meet with regulators regarding the acquisition. So they, I guess, are proactively going to Washington as opposed to other people who maybe are not. Quote from Microsoft President Brad Smith, "We are more focused on adapting to regulation than fighting against it." That's some really interesting kung fu.
There's a famous story about this explorer named Hernando Cortez where, we've all heard this analogy or this little phrase before, where, when they were exploring, coming from Europe and, they hit the Caribbean islands and then, looking for America, etc. The famous phrase is burn the boats.
Yep.
Right? Can't go back. We have to find our way
Make it work.
The way that that's been extended in business is sort of what we would call scorch the earth. And there's a competitive move that a lot of businesses, if they're smart enough, can execute, which is to effectively take a key market and take an economic view of that market where you say that we're going to take all the economic value away from it. And I think this is a first step towards a really interesting play that Microsoft could pull, which is essentially to scorch the earth of app stores.
Which is Google's and Apple's really big money printer.
To make a completely open, permissible platform with very little to no take rate. And in a market as big as video games, I think what it does is it creates pressure on all these other mega platforms to essentially copy them. And I think Friedberg mentioned this before. Google has actually been the best in doing this by finding these key markets, or I think it was Saks, Chrome and other things, and giving them away for free. Google is in a position to make the App Store effectively free. And then that puts Apple on a little bit of a desert island. So Jason, back to why I think you can keep Apple in that basket of shorts. The competitive pressures are mounting by the moves of Microsoft that I think are easier for Google to copy and very difficult for companies like Apple to copy because it creates an incredible disincentive.
Yeah. And also as part of this open App Store concept, they would let you use any payment system. So if you're on an iPhone and you wanted to use Apple Pay with a Google app purchase, you could do that. And if you were on, Microsoft, you could use PayPal as an example.